You know the concept of roguelikes, right? Where you're sent into a procedurally generated environment, find items, fight enemies and maybe even defeat bosses, but you eventually either die or win the run, and then you start over again. Now apply that to a shooter game. Specifically a 3D bullet hell in an alien world. That is Returnal. So I decided to try this game out and record my very first run. Alright, so I have never played this game before. I have skipped through the trailer on Steam and that is it. I have no idea what's going on, I have no idea what I'm doing. I know it's a roguelike with, I think it's a shooter, and I think there's bullet hell-like parts, but we'll see, I have no idea what's going on. Since I got absolutely no idea about this game, all that I'm gonna talk about today is the experiences I made and how I interpreted them. So don't expect anything coherent or anything. I took the liberty of turning on subtitles so that it may be easier for you to follow the in-game dialogue. The game starts by crashing you into this planet, initiating a tutorial level that I presume to be not procedurally generated. There's some talk about some white shadow we're chasing after, but that's all we know really.
I have found a deceased Astral Scout here. Checking identification on helmet. It's...
I guess I'm supposed to know that person? Yes, in fact, she is us. Celine is the character we're playing. At least we can steal the gun of our own corpse. Past us is not gonna need it anymore anyway. So I went and tried out my new gun. Turns out it has infinite ammo. Very cool. We can also use it to shoot open doors. Rest of the evil controls I don't dislike. We are also equipped with a map that we can use to navigate around. First thing we find moving around a little bit is this neat little chunk of green here. Of course we have to pick it up. The scanner tells us this item can heal us. Very cool. I've seen enough hentai to know where this is going. This is our first confrontation with enemies, and judging from their attacks, they're also our first bullet hell experience. You gotta jump over those. There's a lot of thinking. You're asking of me? We also find scout logs scattered around here. Scout log? How? Where?
If you're hearing this, you are stuck here too. I don't remember recording that.
So it very obviously seems like previous versions of me have been here and died. But of course we're a lot better than them, so that should not be a problem. We also get a key, which is nice. And that's how we explore different areas in this game. You find a key or some new mechanic and you can go to places where you couldn't before. Also very cool. So we go and explore more areas, kill more of the local fauna and collect more of the yellow stuff that I presume to be some kind of currency. We also find some kind of purple key that seems to be infected with a thing called malgancy? Malgancy? Whatever. Don't ask me what it is. We pick it up anyway and it causes our suit to malfunction, reducing our protection by 20%. It also tells us how to fix the malfunction. In this case, we must collect 20 obolites, the yellow orbs we get from exterminating the local wildlife. Then we find this thing. A big black gooey orb. Of course our first instinct is to shoot it. I don't like this. This looks boss-like. Well, at this point, if it does decide to attack us, I am not even mad anymore because I started it. But that's just the only kind of interaction I know. Shooting people.
There is a moment between death and rebirth when tentacles drag me down.
Yeah, that too sounds familiar. Then we found this thing.
Encountered hostile predator.
Oh my god! What just happened? I don't want to be in photo mode. And that's the first time I died. Why is there photo mode? Doesn't count though, because that was just the tutorial. It's kind of like an Elden Ring, right? Welcome to Returnal. This time for real. So apparently you can look into some data here. Maybe even change some things. I didn't really look into it very much at all.
I've already experienced this before.
So that's the type of game this is gonna be, huh? And back outside we are. This time we can experience a real cycle. A run, so to speak. Let's see how we do. How do I heal though? You never taught me how to heal. That's because you don't. There's no healing. Unless there's a healing object on the ground, you cannot heal. Picking them up only increases the little bar next to your health bar, and once that is full, you heal to full health automatically once you drop to 0. So that's nice, I guess. I'd still prefer being able to heal manually, but maybe that's just me. Okay, apparently I can't swim. I guess spacesuits aren't suited for swimming. After destroying some alien architecture out of sheer fucking principle, we find some new technology. This thing allows us to shoot rockets out of our sidearm. Very cool. We also find an active item. You only have one slot for those, and each item can have vastly different effects. This one creates a shield that stops the next hit. Very good. Shortly after, we find something great. A new weapon. Finally. This one is an assault rifle. It has rapid fire and unlimited ammo, but it does need to reload just like our sidearm, which by the way we had to throw away for the assault rifle. Not sure why, but it had to be done. Some more hentai dogs later, we find those blue tentacles again. Oh, this is fucking weird. Yeah, I'm fairly sure I've seen this scene before, and I don't have to see that again. I'm just gonna assume don't jump into the red goo. Next up is a real treasure room. 3 chests in total, each a chance to cause a suit to malfunction should we choose to open them. So naturally I opened all 3 of them. The last one actually gave me a malfunction, but I did get some nice items. Most notably my first artifact. I don't know what an overload is. We did manage to get rid of the malfunctions and encounter our first turret. At least I think that's what it is. We're gonna see those again later on. There are also these low-hanging tentacles. They scoop you up, but you can just dash out of them. Again, a very familiar scene. I'm honestly not sure in what way those are supposed to be a threat. They take so long to scoop you up. We also find this chamber. Whatever that may be. I have no idea what all these things are. Yep, never figured it out either. Don't worry about it, buddy. Next we find a dead body. Of course, we have to loot it. It's basically an unspoken rule of gaming. Well, that looks safe.
Appears safe to repurpose.
Yep, that definitely looks safe. And nothing like I've seen on Rule 34 before. Okay, I can now teleport. Will you tell me how to? Yeah, those blue orbs can now be used to teleport over small distances. No idea how that works, don't care either, it's pretty cool either way. One of said new teleporters introduces us to some new enemy types. They don't really stand a chance. We also find our first Aether, another currency we may or may not be able to use later. Shortly after that we find a shop. We can use the yellow orbs, the orbolites, to manufacture items here. Another thing that I don't understand later, we find this energy barrier. Another Metroidvania-style obstacle that we would be able to cross later on. For now we get to fight the alien Leshen. I can hear you. Where are you? God! Well, that's fucking terrifying. What was that? We find our next weapon, the Spitmore Blaster. It's basically a shotgun. And to try it out, the game presents us with a victor that can defend itself.
It is parasitically attached to my arm. Does not appear hostile.
What do you mean? Well, apparently these parasitic creatures both strengthen the suit as well as cause it to malfunction. Of course, we can remove those malfunctions again by performing a correct action. What exactly they do depends on the parasite, but generally it's a good thing to have them. And the red tentacle dog from earlier is back, this time with reinforcements. But he too eventually falls. After a while, we find this random house.
That can't be here. I think I am reliving my memories in that house, but not fully.
Well, it's locked anyway, so we're gonna have to return to this later. We decided to voluntarily pick up another parasite, for some reason. That is a parasite. Before we get ambushed by these flying fuckers. Okay, that was scary. We then upgraded our weapon in some hidden area we found. Ooh, bonus damage. And shortly after, we find another one of these weird lesion-like creatures that just gets absolutely mauled by our new gun. Maybe, just maybe, my weapon is actually good. Yeah, how would you just focus on the fucking tentacle gorilla that's approaching you as we speak? We find some destroyed automaton that was holding some kind of weapon. Okay, that looked normal. It is mainly used to open the barriers from earlier. Oh, it breaks barriers. And after some backtracking and a weird teleportation animation, that looks disgusting. We arrive back at the house. I have a key now, let me in. So apparently this is Celine's old house. No idea what to make of that, but here we are. Might as well explore a little.
Hello? Who is that?
Well, that's fucking terrifying. Didn't know I was playing a horror game.
Such strange markings. Where did this...
Okay, that was normal. Nothing to question there. And then we faint. Yeah. I don't follow at all. Back with the living we are. Time to explore further and backtrack to areas we couldn't enter before. Behind a certain door we find those turrets again, but this time they are shielded and we can't destroy them. So we just run through until we get to a big red door. We actually have the key for said door, so we can just enter. And when we find a hole in the ground, it's obvious that we gotta jump down there. Luckily, there's no fall damage. This looks very boss to me. There's multiple phases? This doesn't seem fair. Yep, that is how I died. Back to the cycle we go. And that's where we're gonna leave it for today. That was my first run of Returnal. Honestly, pretty fun. If you wanna try it yourself, links in the description. Have a good one.